Why do we feel it's necessary to yak about bullshit in order to be comfortable?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Next person would be Snestastic. Hey Pete, thanks for the questions, buddy. 4 questions. I know I stare down a lot. I should look more at the camera, don't you think? Questions. 8, 16, 32, 64, 128 bit. 32-bit. I never had a 32X, and I just never really had one. I think would the PlayStation 1 be considered 32-bit? I think it was. I'm going to answer 16. 16 was when I felt like there was a huge jump from blocky-looking pixelated graphics into a really smooth, sharp-looking gaming systems. And I think everything just exploded from there. It was before the age of the 3D world. I think the 32-bit era, if the PlayStation was in the 32-bit era, brought on the 3D gaming world. And did quite well with it. I really enjoy it, but I think this, for a side-scroller fan like me, the 16-bit era is definitely it. And if you're going to twist my arm, Pete, I'll take the Super Nintendo over the Genesis. But at the time when I bought my Genesis, I was so anti-Nintendo because they had burned me so bad with the 8-bit Nintendo and how it flashed off and on. It didn't want to work most of the time. I was so freaking pissed at that machine that I refused to buy a Super Nintendo. I refused for a full year to buy a Super Nintendo when it came out. And I bought a Genesis, and I bought my Sega CD before I bought the Super Nintendo. And I gotta give Super Nintendo the nod, though. I love my Genesis. A lot of games seem to run a little bit faster, but the color palette on the NES was a lot smoother, and the audio, a lot of times the soundtrack was a lot better on the Super Nintendo. I did really dig the Super Nintendo more than I give it credit for, so I'll give it its due. Second question: which 5 games would you recommend for me to add to my collection? Okay, Genesis games. I wonder if I have 5. I probably do have 5. I don't really. I'm sorry, Pete. I don't remember your Genesis collection that well offhand. So I'm not sure if you have some of these games or would not have some of these games. I could reach back and grab them over my shoulder, but I think I'm just going to name them. Well, the first X-Men game I really enjoyed. It was just called X-Men, and it was a side scroller, and it's one of the reasons why I bought the Genesis, because it just looked so cool at the time. And the 4th stage at the end, they really, I don't know. There's a trick to getting past the end of the 4th stage. Otherwise, you just keep getting game over, and you never can get by it. And you have to. It's one of those things that people that have played it. I guess I can just. Spoiler alert: if you don't want to know how to do what I'm getting ready to say for the game X-Men for the Sega Genesis, then fast forward like 10, 15 seconds. At the end of the 4th level, you get stuck in this room, and it says you must turn the computer off, and you can't turn it off. You can't figure out how to turn it off, and it just counts down. If it ends, it says game over, and you have to start back at the beginning of the game again. It wants you to physically hit the reset button on your actual Genesis. And then a bunch of binary comes up. And then it kicks you into the 5th level, so. Unless you know that. I mean, that alone, to me, makes that game worth having in your collection. Just that dick move by the game. Second game, I know you're not huge into role-playing. I'll go Castlevania Bloodlines. I don't know if you have Bloodlines, but I love the Castlevania series. And I think Bloodlines is a good solid Castlevania game. trying to think. Something that you might enjoy or not enjoy. I don't know if you ever played Beavis and Butthead for the Sega Genesis, but I really enjoyed it. You're going around collecting pieces of the ticket for the Guar concert, and there's different stages and different areas and you gotta work your way through it. I enjoyed it. I mean, but I've got a sense that I've got different gaming sensibilities. Sometimes cheesier things turn my head. So I'd recommend it, the Beavis and Butthead, if you haven't played it for the Genesis. I'm trying to think, a couple more games. I don't know, there are games that I personally don't even have that I would like to have in the collection. I'd have to say Altered Beast. If you don't have Altered Beast, I think it came packaged with a lot of systems back in the day, but I've got a complete in-box copy of Altered Beast. You gotta have Altered Beast. And I'd say, well, more than likely you've got all the Sonic the Hedgehog games, but if I had to recommend one, I would say the third one. Because I love this, there's like a snowboarding thing and some other stuff that's really fun. That's kind of a wimpy answer for that one, though. Fifth Genesis game would be... I'm trying not to pick role-playing games because I know you don't dig them that much. And otherwise, there's a couple. See, I love the Shining Force games. They're more of a strategy role-playing because you basically have, like, your big board and you can move your character, a certain distance, and you're locked in. And then it's basically, it's almost like, a game like Desert Commander or something on the Nintendo where it's like capture the flag style. Basically where you just, it's strategy. It's moving, working this map. It's not as rigid as a standard role-playing game. And your weapons and armor are pretty basic. You basically have 4 slots. You have one for a weapon, one for a weapon. Your armor is pretty much what it is, and you have 3 other spots for like some healing stuff or whatever. And that's it. So I recommend Shining Force. I know it's not your cup of tea, maybe, but that's fine. And we'll count Sonic the Hedgehog 3, so that's 6. You might have some of those, and if you do, good choices, buddy. 3. Besides your NES, what is your most treasured system and game for that system? I think I kind of answered this with the favorite system thing. My Sega CD would be my second favorite system. Most treasured game... there's a lot of games that I love for the Sega CD. It's almost like picking children. That Earthworm Jim is one of my favorites. Sonic CD is really great. Mickey Mania is cool. If I had to pick one game, I would say I wouldn't say. Evidently, I wouldn't say. Let's see what you got here. Pete, favorite movie of all time. Now, this won't play because I said these, but all-time favorite of my lifetime. I don't know. I was a big fan of Terminator 2. I love the first Terminator. I was just the right age as a kid to be really scared, scared by it. Kind of, terrified that something like that might come for you, But the second movie with the special effects and the leaps that it made. I think I did this once before, but it's either T2 or it's Jurassic Park. I think they really brought the effects in Jurassic Park as well. So. All-time favorite, that would be, fuck it, I'm picking T2. T2, Director's Edition, god damn it.